Forget to do this every time, you guys. I'm so sorry. Um, and my dog is trying to bark into my room, but that's fine. All right, everyone. Hello, hello. How are you? Hopefully, you have been having a great day. I don't know why this accent is coming out, but we're just going to roll with it. I don't even know what the freak this accent is. Um, it's horrible, but we're gonna roll with it. And you see the thumbnail, you see the title today, and you know I'm going to be doing a reading on the Labubus. Um, so if you don't know what a Labubu is, great. You aren't missing out on anything. And I'm going to apologize that I have put this on your radar because it's a very crazy thing, a very craze that has been taking over where people are essentially buying these little dowels. They usually come in like keychains, and I think they have some that's like a little bigger. That which I found out yesterday. Someone told me they're called Zamumus. I think I might be, or the day before yesterday. Somebody told me the Zamumus. It's like they got different names for them for the sizes. But anyways, the Boo Boos is coming from someone. I believe he was from the Netherlands. I think it was a Korean or some Asian that's or someone from the Asian continent that moved to the Netherlands, and he was really enraptured, or she was really enraptured by the fairy tale stories that they have over there. And they created this story of Labubus, and I think they're all female characters. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the books, the little fairy tales, because they're like miniature little cutesy creatures. Cutesy, I use that loosely. You can judge it how you want. Uh, People are buying them at these little like vending machines, and they're like clipping them on their bags and stuff like that. I know a lot of a couple of celebrities have been linked to it, like Dua Lipa, Kim Kardashian. They've had them on their like luxury designer bags and stuff like that, and people have just been like so infatuated. And you know, some people have also connected this. The conspiracy is some people have connected this to a Simpson episode where Marge, I think, found like a Pzuzu statue and put it in Maggie's room, and the statue possessed her. Because if you don't know the story of Pzuzu, if you ever played that game, what was it called? I'm seeing it in my head, and then I can't think of the dang name. They just did a movie about it too, where it's like the little creepy crawlies was in the cave, and all the people went like on a vacation. It first was a game. Oh my god, what was the name of it? They just came out with the movie. I'm blanking. I'm blanking. Um, the Dark Trilogies, the Dark Chronicles. I think it's something like that. Hold on. The Dark Anthropology. It was a PlayStation game where you had to like do these times cues and stuff. Um, because they had one, I know one was about the a World War II ship that got lost, and it was the mustard gas. It was another one where they went in some um off-site place. I want to say it was somewhere in the Middle East. The Dark Pictures Anthropology, yes. And then they also had one with the werewolves, but I can't remember. Yeah, so they had the Man of Medan, the House of Ashes. Um, what was this other one? It's the very first one, and I'm blanking on. Let's see, because I'm on the website. I had to go look. They have so I forgot Little Hope. Yeah, they got Man of Medan, Little Hope, House of Ashes, Devil in Me, and it's the first one that they came out with. I thought I thought that was part of the same one. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game that they did. But I know they came out with a movie just this summer. It's not Man and Medan. It's okay. I'm gonna move on because I'm like stuck on it, and it's gonna drive me freaking nuts. But drop it down in the comment if you know what game I'm talking about, because I am like blanking on it. I know it has something to do with like this brother who lost his two sisters. They went out for a walk. I know that's how the game started. And it was like a quick time event game. You could play it with another person. It was like different POVs you had to play. I'm pretty sure the guy who was in who was on who played Freddie Mercury, he was also one of the characters in the game, and so was the girl who was on Heroes, and I'm forgetting her name. But I know they were some of the actors in this, and that's also, I'm bringing it up because it was also a reference in the game about Pzuzu as well, where it was like, oh, the creatures might have came from something for Pzuzu. But maybe I may be getting that mixed up with the House of Ashes, because that was the Middle Eastern one. But yes, and so if you don't know, Pzuzu is this, I believe he's a not Mesoamerican, a Sumerian. I think he's about that old. He was first referenced in the Sumerian text. And some people refer to him as some kind of like demon or a god or something like that. I think they also mention him in the Solomon Keys, but I could be wrong on that. Somebody who's more knowledgeable can tell you that. I'm not sure. I'm kind of mixing up all the stuff. But saying all that to say, Pzuzu, not a good person, and people have been linking it to the Labubus, to Pzuzu, and, you know, people have also wondered if it's not linked to Pzuzu, if it's something going on here where it's, the people are using the Labubus to kind of like get people, to sidetrack people, to have them do something else, like some psyop bull crap or something like that, or if it's just a consumer craze. So I figured, why not just do a little fun one and see what I get in this reading. So with all of that being said, and all of my stumbling through this explanation, to make a long story short, we are going to be doing a reading on the Labubus and see what I get, whether they are something that you should be fearful of, or I shouldn't say fearful of, just very mindful and respectful to. But we will see. I'm going to cleanse my cards really second, so excuse me, you might hear a bit of silence. Okay, and I'm back. Had to cleanse my cards really quick. So hopefully you all have been having a wonderful Friday. Maybe some of you it's Saturday. Hopefully you've been having a grand one and getting geared up for the weekend. I know I plan to have some fun times tomorrow with my family. We are actually planning a family reunion. So, well, we have planned a family reunion, and I'm excited to be seeing some of the crazies that comes out the cuckoo tree with my family. I can say that you cannot. So I'm happy to see that going on. All right, let's see what we're going to get here. Just one more shuffle here. Please note that all statements made are alleged for entertainment purposes only. As you can see, this is for entertainment. It's something not even that harmful. This is an innocent little like tarot reading, but it's just, you know, giving me practice, and it's answering the public curiosity, and hopefully it won't feed into the conspiracy, but we won't know till we get these cards. So let's get into this. Sorry, I had an alert come through. I wanted to make sure it wasn't something I was missing. Oh, my ankles. I feel like it's gonna rain or something because my ankles feeling like it's just steady popping, like it's pressure. Make sure this is working on both Twitch and YouTube as well. Because Twitch has been giving me a bit of an issue. See, yep, that's why I wanted to look. Because on my end, it's showing that it's not working. So isn't that interesting? But it probably is. Twitch is not very friendly to me right now. Yeah, for whatever reason, it keeps saying something is wrong with the reload player, but it's showing that I'm live. So I'm not understanding why that is happening for me. But I'm going to keep rolling. Hopefully you all can hear the audio and it's not that much trouble. One card here. Okay, that is a lot that wants to come out here. Let's take note of what flipped over. Five of Swords, the Five of Coins, the Knight of Swords, Balance. What is this? Six of Coins in reverse. And then I had some more that flipped over in my hand, but I'm not counting these. Swords. And this one also wants to come out. A lot of personalities here, I'll say that. You have the Queen of Cups, King of Swords, and then the King of Wands in reverse. But we also have the Page of Cups as the underlying energy. The Hierophant, the Rules. This is an interesting card that's coming up. And then the Four of Cups. That makes me feel like it's hard to ignore them right now. Like they are the it thing right now. So the Queen of Cups, this could be someone who is a water sign. Think your Cancers, your Pisces, your Scorpios. This could also be, I think of usually somebody who is very nurturing, very emotionally intuitive, very caring. I almost sometimes think of like controlling as well, but that could be more so the Queen of Cups in reverse. But I'm going to put that out there because that was a thought that came up. It may be alluded to something later on down the road. Yeah, just think of like caretaker energy, very somebody who's very mature, wise, nurturing, very warming, loving. I kind of think of that, which would kind of explain the energy of the Labubus, because some people probably see it as that type of thing of like, maybe they find a sense of community in this, or maybe they see it as something that's loving, or something that kind of feeds their inner child or something. So we do have the Queen of Cups here. Then followed by the King of Swords. So the King of Swords in the upright is a good card to me personally. I don't know about other people, but the King of Swords is somebody who's probably like very analytical, someone who is really good with communication. It could also deal with the air sign elements. So think of your your Aquarius, your Geminis, and your Libras. So somebody who's very big on like, you know, justice, equality, those kind of things. I also think of kind of like that humanitarian aspect of things as well. Someone who is very fair in their rulership. Some people would say probably cold, but again, for me, that's more so in reverse when I see the King of Swords. But the King of Swords is, I think, I also kind of feel like dependable, like very reliable, very fair. Again, the King of Swords to me is like a good card. Now, I'm interested in why the King of Wands came up in reverse, because this makes me feel of like somebody who may be, I kind of think of it on the emperor scale of like maybe you are abusing your power or abusing your privilege. I want to say overstaying your welcome. Don't know if that has anything to do with this, but it could also deal with things. I also think of like infidelity as another thing. I also want to say drawing ire. It's probably like another thing that's coming up. But so far, just it reads just like, yeah, this is a toy. It's a craze. It's the thing that people are excited about right now. It's not much to see here. And this is just getting a general energy reading on kind of like the Labubus overall. Our fragrance. This is so ooh, I had a bunch of cards fly out. Artificial heart, addicted. These two make sense. I don't know why the revenge card would be there, unless this is more so towards maybe the person who created it. But the addicted and the artificial heart makes sense to me. Kind of like you are trying to fill an empty void with a superficial item kind of thing. What is this? It's like wanting to side out everywhere. Peaceful amongst the thorns. Ooh. I didn't even start raising this yet. Okay, this is actually what wants to come out. Not gonna lie, seeing this makes it a little worrisome with the King of Wands underneath, but kind of reads parasitic to me, or like possession. Um hmm. But again, the peaceful amongst the thorns. Peaceful amongst the thorns with the King of Swords. I think this is something dealing with like resurgence. Why is that resurgence coming up? And then Black Flower Fragrance, what I was immediately getting with that on top of the Queen of Cups, it was kind of making me think, was making me feel like, um, because I don't know what's in these stories. I haven't read one of these books at all. But from, what the Labubus are inspired from. But I can assume, and I don't think this is much of a stretch, I ain't breaking no ligaments doing this, because these are dealing with like Netherland fairy tales. I wonder if there is some, I'm encapsulating the darkness of these fairy tales and something like uh, that looks dainty and pretty, and it doesn't scare people because they kind of see it as they kind of let their guard down, kind of submissive kind of energy. I'm encapsulating something that kind of takes you off guard. You wouldn't expect that from these. So that's what I was kind of getting from that. So it kind of speaks of like, I guess you can say disguise or deception. Something dealing with a message, and then something dealing with possession. Not sure what that could be dealing with, because again, Temple of My Body just made me think of like possession. I usually don't get that with this, so I'm gonna roll with the feeling I'm getting here. Hope, incompleteness, yearning. What is this? Sorrow, loss, valor, serendipity. So it's not a sorrowful thing. This seems to be like a conflicting thing here, because automatically when I hear something that could, like, when I feel it's something that is almost like camouflaged, or it is being misleading, I guess is the other word that I can say here, and you're saying that it's not something that is something you should feel sad about, is interesting. And again, I don't know what the message or the like moral of the story is with the Labubus from the creator, but that's something else that seems to be like getting hinted at here. Something about like there's some kind of moral story or some underlying story or tone or message that the person who created the Labubus is trying to convey, outside of just people taking um this cutesy creature and turning it into some like whole marketing issue, a marketing thing. Okay, and then we also have Golden Empress. This is dealing with potency, confidence, and magnetism. Is there a message maybe about the... Okay, this sounds weird, and I'm just gonna roll with it. I'm just gonna roll with it. Is there maybe a messaging here about the confidence of women, or the confidence, overconfidence of men, or something? Or maybe it's like a yin and yang thing here. And I say that because with this, when I seen like this giant, this ancient warrior, eternal servitor with like the light, it just kind of made me think of the yin and yang, that light and dark. Like it's a missing piece here. I don't know if it's an overall. Now I feel like I need to look into what the overall message or the story is with the Labubus. And so I know they come from like a story thing, but people just like the characters because they, little cutesy, weird looking things. So I wonder, is it a message that's being lost that is wanting to be conveyed by the story writer? Maybe they kind of appreciate that more people know about it, but maybe they don't like some of the narratives that are like taking off with this too. I don't know. Okay, let's see here. That feels like a large no to me. I'm gonna tell you what I'm asking right now. Hold on. In a minute, sorry. No, okay, so I'm the question I was posing was if the Labubus are in any way connected to Pzuzu. This makes me feel like no. No. It just feels like this is a cycle of consumerism. People are going to find something to comfort themselves, something to form some kind of community around or rally around. People are going to find themselves trying to be a part of a group of some kind. People are going to want to feel like they're not being left out of some craze if everybody is doing it. Me being a natural contrarian, that does not sound appealing to me, but that's me. Yeah, it just kind of feels like. And then we get the Five of Wands for the underlying issue. To me, immediately, it just makes me think of the people who are like fighting over this stuff. Four of Swords, take a rest, it'll go away soon. It's going to be something else that comes up. It makes me feel like. I also want to note the Four of Coins, because one of the questions I had was that there's no way this buying a Labubu is being the big thing everyone wants to do in this economy. Four of Coins, you need to be stingy. People need to be figuring out how to put their money on something else, and maybe that's the reason why it's a whole little market for the knockoff Labubus, which is the lafufus. It's just like, and I don't know if that's going to be the thing that's going to be the downfall of the Labubus or something here. It just seems like there's better things you could be spending your money on. But I understand people also want things that make them happy. I'm not trying to knock that at all. Again, the King of Swords coming up in reverse, it just kind of makes me feel like eventually the whole I don't know, maybe the mess is I feel like it's something with the messaging. But yeah, to me it's just with the Pzuzu thing, it doesn't seem like there's a link at all. With the wheel coming up in reverse too, it just makes me think of like this is a cyclical thing that, it'll be another craze. Getting closer to Christmas that people are gonna be infatuated with and wanting to deal with. Let's see what we're getting here with. Can I get more clarity on how this King of Swords is coming up on me here? See, look, that potency, that magnetism is coming in, and it's coming up on the King of Swords again. No, last time it was the King of Wands. My bad, because the King of Swords was in the middle last time. It just feels like, no, people just really like this. It's just a thing right now. It's the new buyer's craze. All right, cards. I'm getting some of the same cards. Incompleteness. That's funny. It's coming up with the wheel in reverse. Incompleteness, yearning, hope. What is this void feeling for people? Okay, I get one card that's different. I feel like my cards is trying to get me in trouble because there is no way they just said this like that. Like, it's basically saying y'all need to stand. No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm not. But essentially, yes. I'm not. Mediation, communication, culture, strength card coming up here. Like y'all are weak. It's the power of marketing. That's it. It's nothing like deep to this. That's not what I'm getting with this reading. It's like it's nothing deep to this. You must just need to stand up. Y'all are trying to fill some hole. Something that's missing with yourself. The potency, confidence, magnetism, especially with the King of Swords in reverse. The confidence is the big thing that's like picking up for me. Maybe it's a lack of like people feeling confident or comfortable in knowing themselves and standing on their own in some sense. This is the best way I can explain it. This is not necessarily what it is, but this is kind of like the feeling that I'm getting, of just like you lack confidence, you lack guidance, you lack some kind of awareness. I don't want to say the S word that ends with a P. Bye bye. Some people get triggered to call them that word. It's an animal that gets sheared. I quite like them. But yeah, it kind of gives me sheeple vibes. And again, with the wheel and the incompleteness, what is the void? What is this feeling? What is the missing link that the boo-boos are kind of like serving in this moment? And with the mediation, communication, culture, and strength card, it just kind of feels like I want to say like it's ingratiated in society. It's like a thing. It's I don't want to say like a rite of passage, but it's something you do. You are prone to fall to it. What are some of the underlying cards here? Ooh, we have introspection, opposition, antipathy. Um, we have short-sightedness, ambition, narcissism. Ooh, these cards of pestilence, corruption, malice. So basically, the Labubus are a commentary on society. Great. On the American society, at least. I don't know how big these are everywhere, but I think it's just, maybe it's a commentary on capitalism. Oh, oh, maybe that's what this is pointing to. Mm-hmm. Feel like the cards is trying to drag our wigs at this point. And I'm going to count myself as a part of you all because I am also a part of humanity and a part of the problem. Although I do not like Labubus and I am a natural contrarian, but I'm counting myself as part of the whole. Because even though I'm not obsessed with Labubus, I know I do also have my own vices and things like that that people could sell me on, and I would be like, shut up and take my money. So I too am a part of the problem. I know this. So I'm not going to count myself apart from you all, but yes. forgetting oneself. What is it this with this oneself, like some kind of self-discovery is like peeking in here. Some void, something's missing. It's like you're buying or consuming to replace something. Consumption. What is this one? Fragmentation. So immediately what I thought of when I seen fragmentation, and again, this could just be me reaching. I don't know, this is also making me think of like, you know how you go to somebody else's, I'm gonna take TikTok because I know TikTok is a big example of this, a proponent of this. If I was to go on my For You page, of course I'm gonna see all of these things that like reinforce my bias or something of interest to me. If I was to go on, say, I would say even just if my mom had a TikTok, if I was to go on her TikTok, I would probably see something totally different because you know she has her own interests, she has her own confirmation bias, etc., etc. The fragmentation to me makes me think of almost like silos, but then kind of just you being fed a different form of like social media. So it's like, yeah, this is feeding out, it's pumping out. We see that it's working on like this certain group of people, but it's probably not working on this certain group of people. That's mainly what it made me think of when I seen fragmentation. Not so much in that there's a fragmentation in oneself, but I think it's just a fragmentation of just kind of like a certain demographic of people. Like you are consuming this, and you are consuming this, and you are consuming this. There's a fracture. It makes me think of like fracture. Okay, why does all these cards want to come out? We have Is This Me in reverse. We have Addicted. That wanted to come out earlier. Parasite. Again, something alluding to kind of like that possession thing I was getting here. And it could be possession in the sense of you want to possess this item. Possession as in something you own, you bought, you paid for, and now you have it. It is within your possession. Not maybe so much as in you are being possessed, but maybe it's just more so you actually want to own or possess this item. Naked Before the Stars, and then we have Triumph of Lies. All of these came up at the end here. I need to see what actually wants to stick though. The last, like, energy card here. The obsession. What isn't humanity atoning for? What are we missing out on? What? For chance to dream, and then alone in the world coming up in reverse. I feel like this is pointing to something bigger, and I really want to say it's probably something dealing with like social media or maybe certain people who are infatuated. Again, it kind of makes me think of like building up a certain niche, a community. Again, another example. Say you all are here. Obviously, you are open to things of like the mysticism, the esoteric. You're into kind of like the ghouls and goblins, the ghosts and the boogaloos and all of that. Um, or I should say bugaboos of the world. You are attuned and open to that. But then you have some people who's like, I don't believe in this. This is all fake and propaganda. You are drinking too much of the punch at the one party, but then they'll also probably be the same person who will go and find or go and idolize Elon Musk, for example. I'm buying Tesla, I'm invested in Twitter or X. I think he's doing a wonderful job with the Neuralink. Like, we all have our own little obsessions with things, and that's kind of like what this feels like this is pointing to. It speaks to me of just kind of like those different obsessions, objectives, personality traits, whatever you want to call it. It kind of like draws you into these opposite little factions and communities and niches and groups. You have a certain group think when it comes to this, and that's more so what I'm thinking of here. That the Labubus are kind of like pointing out to me, and it's just like, okay, if you don't get it, you don't get it. That's fine. But the people who do, hello, it's working. Um, I hope I am explaining that properly because I'm trying to explain kind of like the feeling because I'm not getting like any imagery or anything like that. It's like a feeling. So yeah, I don't think these, as much as people want to kind of like equate them to something kind of like demonic. No, I don't think it's a something of like malicious or demonic intent in that sense. I mean, I guess if you are speaking to like financial ruin, or if it's something and just kind of figure out like maybe it's a test subject, a test run, kind of like the craze people had with the, what is those cups? I got one. I got one. The it's a knockoff, so that's why I can't. The Stanley Cups. You know how everybody went about the whole obsession and wanting a Stanley Cup, or people went about the obsession and the criteria of wanting to have Crocs, or you had the people who were all on the bandwagon of like, oh, one day I'm gonna own a G wagon. Like the G wagon one is wild to me, but yes, like um what's another obsession we recently had that people were just kind of like, everybody seemed to be indulging in it. Trying to think. I guess another way, the BBLs. Everybody want the BBL surgery or the facelift thing, the Birkin bags. People who are saying they catching flights, not feelings. I mean, you name it. It just kind of feels like maybe it's malicious in that way of trying to, of the class separation thing. I think that may be some of the commentary here, like the class separation, and the Labubus are just like a symptom. No, I'm not gonna say a symptom, an effect of that, because I feel like more so we are the symptom, if that was, if the analogy I'm using is correct. Like consumerism, capitalism, whatever you want to call it, and then us as the buyers as the symptom of that, and then the Labubus are just kind of like an after effect. It's like, yeah, these are one of the things you see the consumers participating in under the bigger umbrella here. Like, yes, I think that's the best way I can explain it. It feels like that's what's more so this is alluding to. And I guess lastly, you can just kind of look and see if this craze is going to die out soon, or if it's just going to continue. It's going to be, because, you know, for a minute there, I thought it was going to be like a Popeye's chicken event where people, well, I know in some places I have heard it did turn into like big altercations for people trying to get certain ones. Um, And people who are like sneakerheads, don't say anything. Yes, I'm looking at you because you're part. You do it too. You're part of the freaking problem. Um, that's why I say I do not count myself separately, because we all have our own things. Hello, I have 1,000,001 tarot cards, so we all have our little thing we get obsessed about, or that we just like, I need more, some kind of connoisseur of some sort. People who collect Barbies, or people who collect, like, I remember when I was kind of growing up, it was the what do they call them? The teeny babies. Is that what they were called? I know they used to have like a TY tag on it. I think they were called teeny babies, but they were like these little beanie babies. And those also you could hook on keychains. You used to get them in McDonald's boxes. Um, Definitely used to like to run into Toys R Us and get them and collect them. I know for a long while, like, if they still don't, Michael's used to still sell them. I think Michael still do sell them. But you know, you have those little crazes, those consumer crazes that people just go about getting. Oh, look at that. That Five of Swords. Why the Take a Rest, the Five of Swords? These are repetitive cards here. That's funny. I think eventually it is gonna die down. Maybe the books will gain in popularity, or some years down the road you'll see like a Labubu Netflix show or something. But you know, I kind of see them kind of. I can see this kind of going the My Little Pony route. Like My Little Pony used to be a big thing for us as kids. It was like the thing to get, and it was like a niche toy, a novelty thing, and kind of people pushed it to the side. It died down in the limelight for a minute, and then it resurged, and now it has like a whole cartoon show. I think they even movies like Patience. That's funny. Patience come up here, and whether the Labubu craze will die down. Yeah, this just makes me feel like no, people are still gonna find value in it. It may not be as big of a thing globally, but I don't think that it's actually gonna die down anytime soon. Yeah, no. I think it may be more along the back channels of things. I think people are very much going to be obsessed about it. There's some kind of emotional, I don't know what it is, but it feels like there's some kind of emotional fulfillment the Labubus are giving people. I don't know. I'm not a Labubu girl, so I can't explain this to you all, but that's just kind of what it feels like. And then I'm going to pull these last 3 cards. Or should I use, maybe I should use these. Use these. Today for tomorrow. Yeah, again, to me, it's just reaffirming, we're not going to be completely out the picture. We may not just be as talked about. Yeah, but it's still going to have this community. You're still going to have those collectors, those people who are infatuated with it, the people who still like it, who still want it, who still buy it, who still trade with it. I'm not sure why the Is This Me card is coming out. Hold on, let me grab this dark mirror. Let's see if it's something in the booklet that kind of points out to why that's coming out. Let's see. Is This Me is number 4. That's funny. And here it says, I cannot recognize myself as I can't remember the road that led me here. How can I see the road ahead? Are y'all blacking out my Labubu? It's like, can y'all recognize myself? I lost the road once. I feel my true self as a kid that wanted to play soccer. Oh, so is it just... So I alluded to this earlier, but is it kind of a sense of people fulfilling like childhood wounds? Is that kind of what this is? It's just simple, like I'm trying to, or I'm indulging in my inner child. Is that why the Is This Me is here? And then look, understanding. Look, what does the maestro say here? What's that word, y'all? What does that word say? Look at that. Community, okay? I don't think it's just like, hey, if you get it, you get it. Commitment, acquisition, responsibility. It just kind of sounds like it's gonna have, I don't want to say like its own cult following, but that's kind of like what this, it feels like. It's just gonna have its own cult following. Like a cult classic kind of thing. And what else here? This fell out, but it also came out with 2 other cards. I'm not sure what was supposed to be here. Strategy, failure, trauma. And here go that antipathy and introspection, opposition. Morgan is popping out again. Do I need to get the book on that? I'm gonna be honest. Antipathy makes me think of like anti-sympathy, but that I could just be reaching here. I'm showing the U.S. education system. No sorries. Okay, the Morgan. Sorry, I looked up Morgan Le Fay because it's a Morgan and then it's the Morgan and Morgan Le Fay in this deck. But let's see here. It is the demigoddess, the shapeshifter, the riddler, the trickster, and tester of heroes. Morgan is the agent of chaos. Ooh. She favors the form of a large black crow and enjoys the spectacle of battle. The Morgan is a tester of skill as well as will, tempting heroes away from their true goals and desires. She challenges our self-knowledge and our abilities, pushing us ever towards true understanding of who we are, the bad as well as the good. Okay. The Morgan. Well, that's what it says. But yeah, I don't get that the Labubus are evil or demonic. So if you were looking to get into acquiring Labubus, but you were kind of hesitant because of this whole aspect, don't worry about it. I'm not getting that at all. I think it's a harmless fun. I think it's just, again, a collector's thing. It's, let people enjoy their Labubus in peace. Let them enjoy their Labubu. Go about your business. They ain't hurting nobody. Now, if they hurting you or the Labubu jump off their bag or something, then we got to talk, okay? But other than that, I don't see them as something like inherently evil or anything like that. No. It's just a consumer craze. So people, put your tinfoil hats down. It's okay. Conspiracy, I think, is safely debunked. I don't think it's much more to it than that. So yeah. I have nothing more to add to this. Let me know if you are a Labubu or a lafufu collector down in the comment section below. Let me know what's your favorite one. And if you happen to know if you are somebody who actually read the stories that the Labubus come from, let me know if there's like some overall moral of the story or messaging. Like, it kind of gives me like, who is that do you like the fairy tale? It kind of gives me like fairy tale where it's like, hey, the fox and the hare kind of energy, or the three little bears, like, oh yeah, it's a cutesy little kid thing. It's just showing this like over possessive little girl, but it's actually telling a bigger story of like there's certain things that fit for each person, or some underlying lesson or story that's supposed to have been learned, or it's trying to be conferred from the stories. So yeah, if you are somebody who have read the books, let me know and give me your insight on it. With all of that being said, I thank you all for coming in and watching. And if you are coming in on the replay, perfectly fine. I still thank you, because you could have gone on and did something else with your day, watched something else. So I do thank you for watching it now. Even if it's on the rewatch, you can still share your opinions down in the comment section. Tomorrow we will have an early stream, because as I said earlier, I have plans with the family, so we are doing one. I think it's just the Stray Kids. I think the Stray Kids is the next one I have up. So we will be doing a reading on that. I know that'll be interesting for a lot of people. If you have questions, make sure to drop them in the chat during that stream so that I can see them and ask them away. So yeah, with all of that being said, again, thanks for joining me. Luckily, this didn't turn into some kind of crazy reading. I thought it was going to get real conspiratorial and woo-woo, but it didn't. So I'm happy about that. Labubu's got a win from me. So with all of that being said, have a great night, day, or morning, wherever you are. Hopefully you have a wonderful weekend. And if you are joining me tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow. If not, have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video.